listen,
It
I
changes.
is if I'm a Democrat, you know what I mean. You just can't ignore that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot ignore
I'm
it.
a registered
you know what
Democrat.
There you go.
I mean? So come on. This,
Cast my ballot
well,
for
you
the
know,
primary.
this is one of those moments when what can you do for the country? Everybody, welcome to the Daily Closing. This is episode number 20.
We're almost
Big
legal.
number 20.
We are almost legal for drinking.
Drink.
We are already
We've been
past the
legal.
age of, what is it? Classified documents.
Mhm.
Yes.
Done and done.
20 is a good number.
We can definitely join
No,
the Army,
it's the
the armed
most. It's the
forces,
worst age. Being
Why?
20 is like the worst. Come on, seriously?
Why?
You can't
You had a
drink.
bad-
You cannot. No, I wasn't. Oh, look, I don't even remember my.
You're
20s.
gonna tell me you were not drinking when
I
you were 20,
was drinking, but it was stupid. Like it was very.
You had the hype.
It was. Yeah. It's like look at me. I don't need to be in
Yeah.
any closet. You know what I mean? So it was like.
And 2020 was
it
not
was-
a good year.
It's like 20 is not a good number. I mean, this is gonna be a phenomenal
There
episode,
you
just
go.
so you know.
We're gonna
But
make up
I don't
for
know
all
about the
other bad
20s.
20s.
Like, think about it. You-
I had a phenomenal
my
time.
20s was
I
good.
was like,
What do you
I was
mean?
about to buy my first
You
business.
cannot- you
I
cannot
had
recognize.
$50,000 saved
Yeah,
in
but
a-
you're from like
in
a
an
whole other
account.
country.
I think
I was
I
gonna-
Any
think I
average,
bought my
ask
first new car at
any
20.
20-year-old here.
Yeah.
By the way, I was buying a house
How
when
bad,
I was
How
20.
bad
No, my
the
20 was good.
Phenomenal.
My 20 was good. Yeah.
Me too. I got a house.
You were complaining about 20 right now.
No,
So.
20 is a good year
I'm
for
just
me.
telling you. You ask an average 20-year-old that was born and raised in the U.S. and they're
We're
like,
not
I cannot
average.
wait till I'm 21.
We are not
Yeah.
I'm
average
just
here.
saying.
You're
That's why
forgetting that.
this
You're
episode's
forgetting
gonna
that.
be
Let me-
badass
Let
because
me remind you what
we're
my good
20
friend,
here.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Peterson, said.
What does he say? Treat yourself as someone
I just know we not.
that you would
You
care
can be
for.
more than you are.
There
It's
you go.
just
Oh
a
my
little
God.
reminder.
Something about a lobster.
And you definitely are
Eat
more
it.
than.
That was-
Anyway, again, guys,
Shout out to the
welcome
vegans.
to
Yeah.
the Daily Closing. Vegans, we're
Eat
still trying
lobster.
to understand your process, but
we support vegan. yes.
apparently we have some people here that are extremely happy about that, and we'll support just about every camp. But
There you go.
not all of them though, but just about every camp.
Almost all.
Yeah, exactly,
Almost all the
exactly.
camps.
We are not 100% inclusive. You know what I mean? We reserve the right to. But with that being said, listen, some significant topics that we need to cover right now. The whole situation with immigration, guys, I'm going to go back to like some specific things that are happening. And again, the incredible amount of misinformation. But we definitely got to address this. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah.
Not getting any better. Then you have politics. How can you? We're not even yet full blown into the election. We
Yeah.
we don't even have the whole lineup of people that are going to be part of the primaries. and the
DeSantis
whole-
is not out of the closet
He's
yet.
not-
Like
he's
we
not out
don't
of the
know
closet.
if
I
he's,
feel like
But I think his
he's
I think that-
almost there.
like
It's like everybody knows, but nobody's talking about it.
No,
Is that
no,
what
no.
it is?
no,
Or
if-
everybody's
if-
talking about it. It's
if
just
the
not
idea
official.
was-
It's not official.
It's not official.
He's like
the
unofficial.
idea
It
was
hasn't come
they're not
out.
gonna know.
They're gonna know.
Yeah. They already know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The fact of the matter is, most people has been waiting. As a matter of fact, Nikki Haley today said, "We've been waiting for you." You know what I mean? So she knows that he's gonna jump in there. I know that she's gonna be playing a role on any of the administrations. It doesn't matter who becomes the next president, which more than likely is gonna be Donald Trump. At least what we assume is going to be the person,
That would
the front
you
person
assume
winning the
it's gonna be, or
primary.
that's what you
We're
want
going to
to
go
happen?
back. We're going to go back. Well,
Yes.
a little bit of both. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie to you. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? It wasn't so bad. You know what I mean? When gas was half the price, you know what I mean? Eggs were a
Affordable.
third of the price, right? you were. I mean, things. It was just a lot different.
You know the mistake that I make?
What?
I started eating meat after when Biden became president. It should have been what Trump.
stayed
man.
vegan.
I went, no, hell no. It's like potatoes are expensive right now. I'm like, there's not enough potatoes.
No,
the other
food
day,
in general is
for real
expensive.
though,
Food in
wasn't there a
general.
shortage? Like I literally went
Yeah,
and
it
it's like we can
Yeah.
only take 2 bags
Yes, yes,
of the
yes.
potatoes, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You're
what
like,
the?
Where are we?
I'm
You're
like,
yeah.
So
yeah.
all I'm saying is, I should have
When
been
you-
having what is it, New York strip steak.
I listen, man. I feel you for you because you know what I mean. To go back to all that good stuff and then to find it just a lot more
I was
expensive.
gonna say, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
still
So,
with that.
but anyway, and then some of the other things that I couldn't stop laughing because this is how many days now that Bud Light has been losing. I mean, Budweiser in general across the board. Like, if they wanted to, I think that they, at this point, they got a couple of people saying the next time we do something like this, just grab a baseball bat, hit me from the back. Do not allow me to do something that's going to cost us over soon to be $7 billion. You know what I mean? And again, this is the marketplace. I think that the country overall is saying, listen, we had enough of this bullshit. We like we had enough of it. Like, we don't want to. You know, not yet, because
I don't know. Well, we're gonna get into it.
And I agree with you. Not yet, because now you have other companies that are still saying, "Oh, you see how bad it went for those guys? Let's try it and see what happens to us." Because there's a couple of companies jumping in there. Finally, guys, I want to see if at the end we can run a little bit of a comparison between what I believe is an incredible similar condition, similar situation between Donald Trump and Robert Kennedy Jr. Both of them running for president of the United States, different political parties, different affiliations, different backgrounds, but in many ways, both of them have a very complicated relationship with the Department of Justice, with CIA, with FBI. Both of them right now can claim that they have a very obscure history, you know what I mean? So we're going to go into those things, and definitely anything else that is in your mind that we can potentially discuss, right? Okay. The border, the whole situation, here's what my biggest concern is right now. The incredible amount of misinformation. Like they actually want to suggest that since Title 42 was removed, and we mentioned a little bit in the last video, right? But if they really want to make an effort, right, that because what they're trying to say is, well, at some point we had, 100,000 people coming into the border, and that dropped to 60, 70,000, right? But normal was 2,000. I mean, is that much of a discrepancy? You know what I mean? When somebody was saying, we have 15 people, that went all the way up to 1,500. You claiming the 600, it's a phenomenal number. Look, we winning. We had of the game. No. But we had originally 15 to 20 people coming through here on a daily basis. Now that number has become 400, 500, 600 people as an average, and at the highest point, 1,500. So they want to take this moment out of that highest point, and the incredible amount of people that already came in, though. You know what I mean? That right now there's a lot of reasons to be concerned from just law enforcement and security, you know what I mean? And then obviously Ron DeSantis, I don't know if you know this, by the way, he's not the only governor that is actually sending National Guard and just law in general, law enforcement.
Sounds like something a president would do, right?
To something that a president or somebody that wants to be a president would do, right? Correct. But by the way, this is the second, because here's what governors are claiming, right? They said this is no longer a border issue.
That's true. It's a country.
No. This is no longer a border issue. This is coming to us no matter where we are in the country. This is it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, to prove that point, we had a very ugly incident that took place with somebody that had previously been deported. Sadly to say, one of my paisanos, you know what I mean, somebody from Honduras. Sadly enough, you know what I mean, we do import a few questionable people in here in terms of violence. Honduras has been plagued by violence for over 20 years, to the point that, we joke around a little bit about the fact that, hey, they're not going to steal your wallet. They're going to take you, you know what I mean? And so, because from the kidnappings to a lot of violence, you know what I mean, gangs and a lot of, levels of drug dealing and drug lords that it's impossible to even explain it. So you have a lot of people that grew up. Imagine if you go from being born within those 20, 25 years, and they grew up in a environment, and we always talk about you being product of your environment, right? Grow up in that environment, and all you know and all you see is people that don't value life, that will take it away in 2 seconds, you know what I mean, that will not hesitate pulling the trigger on you just because you were looking at them the wrong way, or you have something.
What do you think about what Bukele has been doing lately?
Our biggest concern, I mean, for me personally, even though obviously I live here, you know what I mean, but my biggest concern is that a lot of people left. Whoever was a criminal, a gang member.
Because he cleaned up El
who
Salvador.
so far, when was it? A few days
They
ago,
were
that
like-
there were 365. I mean, they already
A
went
whole
a full
year.
year without a single person dying
Right.
out of a violent crime, which you know,
Yeah,
at some
that's
point
unheard
they
of.
had
Yeah, it's big.
exactly.
That's
I mean,
unheard of.
So a lot of those people ended up going to Guatemala. A lot of people went to Honduras, because those are neighboring
It's
countries.
kind of like a roach bomb.
Yeah, listen, hey, we're just gonna go somewhere else, and unfortunately, you know what I mean, because there is no, again, you know, there's a lot of collusion, man, and you have a lot of people, a lot of politicians in these countries that, if they will take a stand like that, you can clean up the country. These countries are the natural resources on these countries. You know what I mean? There's absolutely an incredible amount of great people that are willing to. The only reason why they come here is not just because they don't see the financial possibility. It's just that.
Safety.
Listen, I'll give you an example. You know, my grandmother had a sister. It was scary how they looked the same. I used to go visit the lady just to look at her. You know what I mean? When I would travel over there. She had an hacienda. You know, she had this beautiful place. And at some point, they had about 1,000 Swiss cows. You know what I mean? The ones that actually have, and those are more expensive than average, right? She had 3 boys. Every single one of them was eventually killed
Oh wow.
to
Gang.
rob the animals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I
okay.
mean?
So they didn't go to a gang.
Yeah,
Good
no,
boys
no,
that
no.
were.
This is, no. They were again family people working.
Crazy.
They were gonna take over the. You know, my family was always entrepreneurial minded. You know what I mean? And so in that end, that's what they grew up, that area. You know what I mean? And it was, but one by one. So imagine you as a parent. You know what I mean? You look at
Yeah.
at some point she just decided to
Yeah.
Goodbye, cows.
get rid of everything.
That's it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so, just to protect your own family. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
that's
so,
crazy.
but this guy, so here's what happened, guys. Let me give you the details, right? He has an incredible criminal record in Honduras already. And not surprised, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know what I mean? It's just the reality out there is it's a lot easier to make money in a dirty way. And as a young man growing up, that's what
No values
everybody's
and
getting. No,
principles, that's
absolutely.
where
There's
you end up.
nothing.
Yeah.
Like you want to get ahead. You want to see some money now. Just see who needs your ability to. If you have no issues whatsoever, pulling the trigger on somebody, you're gonna find a job. That somebody's gonna hire you, right? And so he was originally detained at the Texas border in 2021
Okay.
under a different name, right? Because obviously this time around, if they stop you, but was later fingerprinted and allowed into the country, and this is the whole argument. This is why so many people are freaking out, right?
Yeah.
Because they're saying, how do we allow this to continue to happen when we
The
have this kind of...
system.
So
System.
his name is Giovanni Grevi Rivera Zavala, 29 years old, has been charged with rape and is being held without bail following an alleged sexual assault on a teenage girl inside a Prattville, Alabama restaurant last weekend. So here's what happens, right? The family's having dinner, right? The girl realizes that he's, looked at her multiple times. Later on, she's describing the whole situation. She goes into the bathroom of the restaurant, right? She goes to use the bathroom. There's a lady in there. So, of course, you know what I mean? You feel better. As soon as the lady walks out, he walks into the bathroom, right? And raped the girl. Your parents, like your family's out
That's
there.
right
She's
there, yeah.
fighting. She's trying to find a way to, and by the time she literally comes out, and for whatever reason, this guy decided to hang around a little, to the point that she goes to the family. The family immediately calls the police. The guy is picked up right there and there.
It's crazy.
I mean, it just
Yeah.
tells you, even as a criminal, you're at that point, your line of
Should be-
thinking is
yeah.
so messed up that you
Yeah.
just don't care.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And here's the second thing, though. This guy already tested the system before in some of the border states, and what his experience was, they always let me go. But the state of Alabama, as you know,
It's a little tougher.
operates a little different. And they literally said, we are going to give you back whatever leftovers are going to come out of this whole situation. They're not going to allow him to have access to
No
bail,
bail.
no bail.
You're stuck there.
You're there. We're going to put you through the system. We're going to put you through the process. And we are not looking to deport you. We want to put you through the system, and we're going to
Deport
probably
him
just
somewhere
hand
further-
over to the
further
population,
down.
who I'm sure
I
is
hope
going
he
to
is
be.
taken care of.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be different type of justice. But here's my issue, right? The reason why you see governors right now making that statement about it now is it's a national issue. It doesn't matter where you are. We got to send people to the border because it's no longer just a border problem. And cases like this will validate the situation. Obviously, you have situations that goes all the way up to Virginia. You go anywhere up with drunk drivers that were not, and so. And again, like for people that always get very confused about, man, how can you be so anti, illegal alien against immigrants coming into it? That's not it. You're missing the point. I hope we have the ability to house everybody, and and we definitely want to welcome everybody that wants to come here and make some money. Not promoting illegal
Be a net
immigration.
positive to society.
But
That's it.
exactly.
It's
Now,
be a
my
net
point
positive.
is that I know that the people that are going to pay the price is the overwhelming amount of good people. They
Yep.
just want to provide for the family, and because we don't have a way to fix this problem, so we got to talk about it, whether we like it or not. And my position is going to be: it's not an immigrant or even anti-illegal immigrant. You know what I mean? That's not it. My position is
Anti-this.
anti-criminal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as we don't have a system that allows you to look into, they already know that this guy had a criminal record in Honduras. You mean we know that, and we still gonna let you stay in the country?
And he came in legally, so to speak, right?
No. He crossed the border. He crossed the border.
Oh,
same way.
okay.
Crossed the
Gotcha.
border. Got cut once.
Oh, so he got caught, but they just didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything.
Gotcha,
They didn't do anything.
gotcha,
They didn't do
gotcha,
anything. They
gotcha.
didn't even do anything the second time.
Yeah.
Right? They just because what happens is they give you a court date.
So they're like,
In that court date, by the way, some of the court dates
Be
are
like
for
2 years for that?
20,
Yeah.
25,
Wow.
20.
Seriously.
One
So
of them was for
that's crazy.
2027.
that's
Yeah.
So the whole time you just running
I'm just
around.
Hanging out.
yeah,
Oh,
like,
man. Yeah,
as a
that-
matter of fact, you can literally
that's
show,
not a
hey,
good setup.
listen, I can't even go
That is
because
not a
I'm
good
waiting. Yeah.
I got to go to court. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't even deport me because I
That's
listen.
crazy. Yeah.
So
Need to fix that.
I do not blame every governor.
Yeah.
That is, as a matter of fact, I'm a little more satisfied
Well,
about that position.
So, look, here's the way that I look at it. We deal with other countries. We get involved in countries like Taiwan and Ukraine.
How about
and,
Ukraine right
You know, it's like all of these different
I mean,
things are
essentially,
happening.
we're trying to stop an invasion from Russia into Ukraine. We're
Right.
holding the line over there.
Right.
We're just not doing it here.
Yeah. And so it's like I don't understand how everybody's so concerned about the borders and the stuff happening across a whole other continent, and then when it comes to what is happening here in our country, the people, the governors that are actually saying, bro, we're gonna send some people to help control the stuff over there, get painted as evil people. I don't understand how we're so involved out there and you're not enough involved here. How is it okay over there and not here?
It's money.
Which is, I understand, but it's like, how can, again, it's people like you and I that are saying, how many people do you know that have the whole Ukraine flag like on their houses and on their profiles? And by the way, if that's where you stand, more power to you. You should also have a flag for your state.
Yeah,
you know
I
what I
got
mean?
you.
You should
So,
have like, or
answer-
for your house, like for Pete's
Answer.
sake.
You said this before, Marvin, and I think it's not gonna be the government, unfortunately, who's gonna fix this. It's gonna take a group of entrepreneurs who's gonna have to put something in place to where it's a business that they start and they go and create the things necessary to help it be done. Because I don't think the
Yeah, but
government
right now that would be
sees-
outside the law.
What do you mean? Like, no, there's a way you can do it. If you have enough money to invest in this and you want to, you can make change. It's just that the people who have the money, they're not thinking about this as a big issue. Now, the governments that should be thinking about this as a big issue, it's not the most pressing issue.
So what you're
in
saying,
their
because
brain.
you like the wall.
I do.
Okay, so what you're saying is,
The wall will
Uh-huh.
save an incredible amount of lives.
yeah,
The wall will
Children,
save,
women,
like, there
yeah.
is like, so you can concentrate security, again, if there is a port of entry, you can concentrate all the security
in one
in
spot
that area,
versus,
right?
yeah.
Opposed to
Yeah.
right now being so
Laser
one of
versus
them.
sun.
Oh,
Yeah, I
exactly,
got you.
right? And so it will save so many lives. Because if anybody has the need to jump that wall, then you know that that's definitely not a good player. You have somebody that is coming with bad intentions. Now you know that you're getting something
Right.
like this,
Right.
right? Because otherwise, if I don't have a criminal record, and I'm coming here just to work,
Bro,
and
I'm
I'm
here.
like,
Hello.
look, bro, I'm here. You can check me out.
Yeah,
So and so.
here's
I
my
know how to do
passport.
this. This is my
Yeah.
qualifications. You know, I know how many professionals I speak
Yeah.
with, right? I mean, you know, so many people that they can really make a positive contribution business wise, and really, especially considering the age groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they are at the most productive time of their
Yep.
lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
And they coming in at
So-
the early teens or 20s. You know what I mean? And they can just be integrated in a
So
way that
what
will
you're
make so much
saying,
sense.
because I want to make sure we go back to
Yeah.
what you're saying. What
Yeah.
you're saying is somebody can just go and say, "I have enough money. Let me pick up the wall project." I don't think so.
No, it's
Is
not
that
about
even
the.
possible?
No,
yeah, I think
no,
I,
no.
it's not.
So-
Even, it's not even so
Like,
much
I'm
about the
like,
wall
ah, forget
project.
it. I'm
So,
just
for example,
gonna,
there's a
like-
lot of entities. Like, for
Yeah.
example, you're not. There's nothing illegal about you creating your own security. There's nothing illegal about you having your own entity that says, "Hey, our group is gonna help people with the process of coming into the country." You can do those
That's already
things.
happening, yeah.
That's my point. But then it's not happening on a big enough scale to help control this issue that's going on. And I think the biggest reason why is because I think it will be good for us to get a lot of these individuals who's going to come here, be productive members of society. But when does that happen? That's
Yeah.
like maybe 5 years from now. I mean, so how do I see a return on that? If I'm a business owner, how do I get a return on my investment today? Do you get what I'm saying? So I think that's the issue. Is I'm trying to see how do I profit off of
but
this
there is
in a way
multiple ways,
that
as a matter of
not just
fact.
making the country good,
Correct.
but also making me more money.
There is absolutely multiple ways. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Listen, staffing agencies, they absolutely make money.
Mhm.
I think that immigration should be treated no different than the
Gotcha.
way we treat the staffing
So-
agencies. Deal.
Yeah, but it's all. It's,
We gotta
my
make
point to
sure
you is
that they don't pass these bills where you can start fining me for staffing of people who are not you
No,
know.
but just think about
Yeah,
that,
But I
right?
get you. Yeah, but I get you. Yes, yes.
I'm
But
saying-
it's something
I'm
like
But
that.
saying-
all of it is tied to government. Everything is tied to all that you guys are talking about, which is amazing. I'm all pro whatever you guys are. I truly believe that entrepreneurship can fix every problem in the world. However, at this very moment, it's not an individual entrepreneur that has a ton of money and goes and does whatever it is
Thank
that
you.
you're saying. It has to be connected to government. It has
Yeah.
to be connected to a bill
Well,
that's being
it's
passed
gotta
or
be
something
done
along that
through
line.
government.
Right,
Meaning,
that's what I mean.
government will have to agree to surrender
Right, that
their
position, yeah.
their control over the day-to-day activities, and allow somebody that is again private to come in. And of course, there's a lot of risk, right? It's like, listen, if today we argue that just about every politician, every president has been affected and has gone through some level of corruption. The whole Epstein case, you know what I mean, made it very clear that it's a slew of presidents.
Yeah.
From
Then,
every
and then there's a number of
party,
other
yeah.
things, right, that talk about
Yeah.
levels of corruption. So is it possible to see a president that dealing with drug lords that are saying, hey, what about our business? You know, what if I just put $200 million somewhere for you, and then we'll, you know what I mean? So yeah, I can see how the challenges of, you know, somebody being private and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you, the fact of the matter is, and yes, they're gonna have government will have to agree to surrender and allow this one private entity, one private body to come in and do something with it. But you can actually monetize it. You
Yeah.
can actually, it could be a very successful endeavor if the right people will get involved and if they will make it into. You can even make it if you don't want to turn it into profitability. You can still also do it as a non-for-profit type of entity. Just not allowing it to have that level of bureaucracy. The reason why I want it to be private is because it minimizes the amount of people whose hands can actually get
Gotcha.
dirty. You know what I mean?
I just feel like that's gonna be a faster answer than the government.
Oh yeah.
A thousand.
Like it's like the even though the governments build the roads, we didn't connect America through the railway system until entrepreneurs said, no, I have a mission to do this. Now the government, they're gonna play a part in it, but somebody has to have a goal. Oh, this is my goal. This is what I'm gonna make happen. So and then now you can start having lobbyists to push in the direction you want it to go. So I think it's gonna start with individuals like us who have a mission to say no.
Listen, Ron DeSantis, just based on what he promoted. Remember the whole hurricane that we had. Fort Myers got heavily affected. You have bridges that went down. You have so many, and that was like reset back up. So he literally said, "Would you like us to go out there and finish building the wall? We can get that done timely." You know what I mean? But
I don't know that he'll have enough staff right now to finish building the wall.
Well, you know what it is.
I'm anti-criminal.
bill
As a
that
matter
he
of fact,
made.
as somebody from Honduras, I resent the fact that we are, allowing this kind. And by the way, as a country, I hate to tell you this, you know what I mean, but I know that also countries like Honduras or Guatemala, when a character like this leaves the country, there's a sense of relief. They're like,
Yeah.
you go. The
Thank
problem
God
is
this
that
guy is-
again that validates a Donald Trump coming down the elevator saying the escalator saying all you sent to us is rapists, criminals, and so and so. And here it is. This guy fits the
Gives
every
exact narrative
every immigrant a
to
bad
the
name.
penny. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So again, I'm hoping that we can come up with some solutions. I'm dying to see what the position is going to be of the next president.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to start. We got to start tweeting Elon and see can you fix the border problem.
Hashtag Elon build the wall.
He could, but I don't think he's trying to go to space.
He's busy.
He ain't
Like,
trying to
he's
go
like,
to.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Mars.
Yeah. But if he was to tackle the border situation the same way how he's trying to tackle the Starlink and SpaceX, I think he could.
You know the reason why I'm saying his name, right? Because immediately what I'm thinking is, if both political parties will have to agree on a private entity, like who will they trust?
I got you.
To say, you know what I mean? So like, what are the people right now that have some level of credibility, business-wise, that can actually get involved with an endeavor of this magnitude and make it work? I mean, this is not, like I said, from my. Once it's off the hands of politicians, this baby
It'll
can.
run
This
smoothly.
baby, this can be fixed in a matter of months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But it is what it is, man. I hate to see these moments. I feel for this little girl. I feel for that family.
Yeah.
I hope the state of Alabama will really take matters under and will really bring justice to their house.
Yeah.
And again, our prayers go to the family. You know what I mean? Hoping for things to get better in that area.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this whole Bud Light issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, almost $7 billion in losses. Like
Yeah.
like you
When was the
gotta
last
be.
time you had Bud Light?
Can I tell
I
you,
don't.
I don't understand who
Yeah.
drinks it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Because I went from.
When I was 20, I had
No,
to drink
but
Bud Light.
I think I
That
do
was the only
understand who
thing I
drinks
could-
it.
Huh?
I do.
You understand what?
Who drinks it?
Who?
It's not us. No, but I'm serious. I'm serious. So here's what
Yeah,
happened.
by the way, it's also not
Tell
gay
me why.
people.
No, but that's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
my point, and I think that's why they're losing so much money. I think they forgot who their target audience was.
1,000%.
The person who drinks Bud Light is not the person who wants to see anything that Bud Light is talking about right now.
Yep.
Do you get what I'm saying? And then so I think they forgot who their core group was, which happens with brands and companies a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of brands
Yeah.
are trying to capture a new market,
Yeah.
right? And they looking for ways to how do we capture that. And by the way,
Yeah, but you cannot capture a new market and forget about what made you who you
Correct,
are,
correct.
especially if
That's
that
the
is
problem, though.
the people that
the
are
problem is that right
the
now
bulk of your.
I guess a bit of listen how misguided, right? This is a group of people that play at a very high level. They make marketing choices like this will go well. The horses will be a great idea. That this color will
It
be a
went from
phenomenal
horses
idea.
to unicorns.
But my point to you is that this definitely backfired though. You know, when you're getting close to $7 billion in losses and still going on, right? Because it's not stopping. You know what I mean? At this point, they really freaking out. Here's
By the way,
can I tell you what?
Go ahead. Go.
No.
You do
What
you.
I'm up to what I cannot believe is that there's a few other companies that are jumping into. Let's see if we can do. As a matter of fact, there was a movie that was failing, and they brought the same person to be a spokesperson for the movie. Everybody goes like, really, really? You went to one person that already cost $6-7 billion to a company, and you think that that's the person that's going to rescue your movie? But I believe that even Ford, right, is as a company is making an effort to do something like this. I don't know.
There's many companies. So here's one of the things that's specifically related to Bud Light is the fact that even after the whole thing backlash, they're losing a ton of money. They still don't have a clear position. Like they haven't spoken. They haven't said, "Hey, sorry, we realized we
blew it." That's that.
It's like, I'm sorry. We want to cater to our people. Here's the horses. Like they haven't done that yet.
Here's what we believe.
Right. They don't have a very clear values and principles. I go back to the whole in jiu-jitsu. If you hesitate, you injure yourself. And so the same thing happens here. They don't have a clear position. They don't have a clear position.
I'm going to ignore
Therefore,
it
says the guy. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. But anyway, so that's one. The other thing, you look at companies like, for example, our Adidas.
Yeah.
Adidas has trans women modeling women bathing suits right now. And so it's like, by the way, I'm not a guy, but
It's so weird.
try to put your stuff in a bathing suit, in a women's bathing suit. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different. So this is happening, right? Like you go to Adidas website. I don't know how. Like just the other day, this was on there. So it's this whole concept of go woke, go broke is actually going to be a thing. You look at. I watched the movie Air.
How did it get this bad, though? How did it get to this point? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because this, first of all, 5 years ago, this wasn't even a topic of conversation.
Yeah.
3, maybe over 2 years. Is it safe to say that just over 2 years
is post-COVID?
Is it the whole
everybody
COVID
got a
thing?
little like.
I don't know, right? They put something in the water.
Crazy? What the hell?
No. Here's what I think.
Is it the vaccines?
Sure, right? Very possible. Very possible. What I think is two different things happening at the same time. So number one, even though some companies are losing a lot of money by going woke, there's some companies who's capitalizing and it's doing wonders for them.
Name a few.
Disney, it's helping out.
Really?
Yes, 100%. Disney is doing phenomenal. Disney's never gonna. I don't even talk about that anymore. But anyway, so that's one. But anyway, what I was saying is this. I feel like number one,
by the way,
companies
Disney has been in the game for a really
true.
really long time.
But
I'm talking about like
Budweiser's been around.
No. I mean in the game
got
of
you.
LGBTQ,
Got you. Yes,
like
yes.
all the whole thing, like that
Yeah.
thing, like the whole community is one. Like
True,
I'm
true.
talking about Pride. We have a whole hotel and stuff like that during
Yeah.
Gay Pride specifically
Got
at
you.
this an event at Disney. We spent Saturday at Disney's in June.
Yes. So watch this. It's unfortunate, but what happens is. So I think the big part of it is like it's almost like the whole Black Lives Matter movement, right? Once the Black Lives Matter movement came out, then companies started feeling the pressure where if they don't subscribe to that, something is wrong with what they're doing. And I now feel like even if I don't care what your position is, but now I have to do it. So then the same thing where if I don't say that I support the LGBTQ plus community, then I'm gonna get a backlash from someone who represents that community. I don't even want to have to deal with that.
So you're saying that a corporation today is that easy to manipulate?
Yes, 100%. But it goes further than that. Watch this. Here it goes.
It's very scary because even when you're talking about Disney, you're 100% right. I mean, when you're talking about a place that has made it very clear that they created space and a position and they taken. But at the end of the day, remember, it still is considered a family park, a family event, right? Children welcome, all of those things.
Not during Pride.
Got it. All I'm telling you is that don't think that even they will be in a position where they will never be affected if at some point, somebody listen, it's just a situation like that away from happening where something really bad takes place and everybody goes like, wait a minute, I thought this was meant for families. Let's bring the children. Let's bring that, opposed to this kind of activity. So I don't think that even Disney is bulletproof They done a phenomenal job creating an environment. It was not. It's not like they had a spokesperson though. That's different. And then, by the way,
It's always
this
very
guy was
inclusive.
not. This person was not a spokesperson for Bud Light. Bud Light is trying to clear that up. Listen, it's not a. We created something, put the image. It was just one 6-pack. That was a very expensive 6-pack of beer, right? And
$7 million.
yeah.
But let me just
Yeah.
finish this point real quick. So what I'm saying is this. So then now it goes beyond just the companies will be manipulated.
Correct.
It's about which group is trying to manipulate them on purpose. So what happens is the same individuals that make decisions, say at a company like Disney, right? They have like I was mentioning before, they have a goal to where they want everybody to think a certain way. So here's how I know this is a fact. Pay attention to the music. Pay attention to like mainstream media. Mainstream media and mainstream music are both trying to get you to do a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Black Lives Matters movement is the trending topic, then you're going to see all music, all mainstream media is going to be talking about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once music and mainstream media is talking about it, every company has to fall in line because they know that the masses of the people is getting this message.
Yeah.
And if you don't fall in line with this message, if you've been around for 1,000 years and you feel like it's not going to affect you, most of them are going to fall in line. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm going to at least play the game and say, oh, no, look, let me put up a sticker. Let me put up a flag. Why? Because I don't want anybody to say that I'm not falling in line with what music and mainstream media is
And you know
doing.
what? You're saying that, and the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are still suspicious about Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I should trust him. I don't know what the real motive. Remember, this guy also this guy also that, right? In one of his most recent interviews, he was asked the question, why are you keep tweeting certain things that can, you know that it can actually have a negative impact on this company, that company, Tesla can get affected, SpaceX can get affected, like you can have a financial loss.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep, running the risk of, what I mean? Because you know that some people don't agree with what you're saying. Don't you think that you should not do that? And he said, no, it's freedom of speech. He said, no, I know. He said, but you can create a real financial loss to yourself, And he said, at the risk of losing money, there are certain things that you have to say because otherwise, you know what I mean, you're gonna. And I think that's what's gonna take place with certain people, certain companies.
Yeah.
I think that some people at this point they're saying, listen, I'm drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to go play this game that everybody wants to play. You can't go to a Patrick Bet-David and say, hey, how about just a little, like that's not going to work well. You know what I mean? If you go to Valuetainment right now and you tell Patrick, Pat, how about we put let's take Vinny, let's take Vincent, you know what I mean? And let's do a little makeup here and there and see if we can sell him out as that. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, no.
By the
For
way, Vinny, don't get any idea. The next
totally
kid that
will.
you want to
Yeah.
do with
So here's the way that I look at it, and the reason why it's happening is a lot of these companies, like for example Budweiser, even Disney, these are companies that at some point had a founder and now is being managed by a CEO. And the problem is that there are two different sets. There's multiple sets of CEOs, but I'm right now going to put them into two different categories. There's the CEO that just wants to appease the stockholders and stuff like that, and a lot of the stock things that are happening right now are all tied up to the ESG, DEI, all of these different things are very into the stock market right now. So there's those CEOs that they all care about that. And then the other CEOs that are actually preserving the values and principles that the founder is. If you look at what all of the companies that is happening right now, none of the companies are actually like the founders of the company, because they like these CEOs, look at the difference between the two different Bob and Disney. The Bob dude that screw everything up. By the way, Disney has an issue with the whole woke thing with DeSantis because they went a little bit too far with the whole thing. They were always friendly to the LGBT community, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just wrong whenever you push the envelope way too much, and so it's like. By the way, I'm grateful. I worked at Disney while I was in the closet and I felt safe there. You know what I mean? So it's like, trust me, I'm grateful for Disney then. The Disney that wants to make sure that kids are able to read books and that is not okay. But again, Bob Iger is more thinking as like in the lines of the founder and protecting the values and principles and making sure that yes, profitability and stuff like that. The other guy, well, I mean, I cannot talk about the Bob Iger right now. I'm talking about the Bob Iger then.
I get it, but right now, listen, they're using, the economy's shifting, right? And so they're looking into that. They had originally planned to make $1 billion investment in the Orlando area. They literally had, the projected idea was an additional 2,000 jobs. And part of it was to relocate some people from California to the state of Florida. Some of them actually are already here. They already make that move. They already make that transition. Now he announced that he is going to pull the plug. Now, he names two things. One of them is, the way the economy is going right now, something to be careful. It may not be around.
Right.
And then the second thing he say, and also the business environment in the area may not be conducive for what we try. So it's kind of like taking a shot at DeSantis, saying that $1 billion that we're going to put in the state, we're not going to, and there would have been another 2,000 jobs. And DeSantis right now is saying, I don't care. Keep it, keep it, right? Because they know that they are also attracting a lot more money, a lot more people that really feel they, like you said, they just went too far. They crossed the line on certain things. You know what I mean? They are no longer acceptable. And the fact of the matter is that when you have this kind of law stuff, when you have a company like this, when you have and you still, the part that is difficult to process, just from a financial perspective, forget about anything other than the only responsibility of a corporation is to actually be profitable.
Correct.
Because if I'm an investor, I'm not looking for your ideology. I'm looking for you to make me money, right? And so the fact that so easily this whole thing has moved into, hey, what do you think we should get involved with? Or what do you think we should be doing? Opposed to, how do we become, a real good place for people to work and have a long time employment, and look at us as a company that will provide safety and financial security to their families, and also at the same time for our investors to know that we are a good place for you to put your money into. You know what I mean? Because we are going to produce a profit. We know the products that sell. We know everything that is going to be well received in the open market. And by the way, I know that's pretty much what Bob Iger has been doing since he returned, right? Okay, we need to shut this down. We need to make this. But that additional statement, again, it's like, it's
totally,
like, come on. You know what I mean? We keep asking for everybody to be the bigger person here, and that's what I said to you. You know what I mean? The last time we spoke about him specifically, his legacy is on the line. His legacy on the line.
By the way, I'm not too happy with the way that he's handling the whole situation either. It's just compared to the other that was in place. What I'm making is the difference between that. The CEO, that's it. What am I going to lose? Just another job. I can go be a CEO at another company. Or it could be the guy that is like, man, I really want to make sure that this is the vision of whatever company, I'm going to stick to it.
Can I tell you what I would love to see from a guy like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because we do have just for the record, we do have a great deal of respect for what he did before.
100%.
And to the extent that his book was one of the books that we read company-wise, right?
We studied it.
Yeah. What I would love to see is for this guy to just say, Governor, I'm going to jump on a plane. Let's go have lunch together.
Talk.
Let's hash it out. Let's find a way to. This is not good for the state. This is not good for the company. This is not good. Let's. How about we find enough of that from a private perspective? I'm not expecting for DeSantis to do it. DeSantis is about to announce that he's running for president, and he's going to hold certain positions because it's part of his political agenda. So he's not going to be the one.
I just realized somehow we ended up talking about Disney again. You're
Well,
into
anyway,
something, man.
It's all about
Disney's fault.
Magic, that's a trickle.
Anyway, trickle. Can we move on to
yes,
whole
absolutely.
situation? And let's talk a little bit. Let's address some of the stuff going on in politics. So, by the way, I know a law, right, that was signed May 17th of Ron DeSantis on Wednesday signed into law a bill that bans gender-affirming medical care such as puberty blockers, hormone therapy, puberty blockers, hormone therapy for transgender youth, and also enacts obstacles for adults to access treatment. Restrictions on drag shows, bathroom uses on which pronouns can be used in schools. The latest from in the Republican leaders' outgoing cultural battles, right? And so the guy is very clear. He said, "This is not healthcare. This is mutilation of our youth," and they're gonna draft the language around that, right? And again, if you wanted to address a few issues that will have national attention because you were planning to run for president and you want everybody in the nation to be paying attention,
where you are.
here are some of the issues from immigration to this kind of situations. But the fact of the matter is that he is absolutely expected to announce next week, I believe, is the official announcement that he is running
Official.
for
We will all be
president.
shocked.
And,
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
and I'm sure like he's gonna go, guys, I got something to tell you. Like, no, we
No,
know.
yeah,
we,
It was like me coming out.
like Nikki
No,
Haley
everybody
said,
knew.
we've been waiting for you to say something. But anyway, guys, what's your take on some of the stuff? And by the way, his announcement. Are you excited about
I mean,
him jumping in?
like you
Do you see it as
is-
something positive for the country? Do
Yeah,
you
I
see it
think
as
so.
something-
I think
yeah.
so. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm never gonna be mad at somebody who's a little too much sometimes, because sometimes you need a little too much.
'Cause they force the conversation.
correct,
Yeah,
correct,
right,
correct.
right,
You know,
so-
for the most part, I like DeSantis. I mean, not everything that he does. But I don't know if I would say I'd vote for him, but I'm saying, but I like him for the most part. But so I have no issues with him.
You're saving that vote for Trump.
I don't-
He doesn't vote.
It's okay. Go ahead.
but no, but I like him so far. So for him to run, I like it. I think he's serious about being a good person. I just don't think he realizes the world don't care about good people anymore. and you're gonna go down trying to fight the good fight sometimes, you know. And we're gonna transition out of this at some point. But where we are right now, like even all the things he's trying to do as far as these bans, you know, it's not happening. I don't think it's happening.
Well,
I
here's
have to
the
win
good
this one.
news. Here's the good news, Governor. We do need good people
Yes, we
fighting
do.
the good
We do.
fight.
We do.
So,
Yes.
so
I
jump
support
in
you.
there. Yeah, jump in there. We want
Throw
to
some punches.
see. We want to see. He's definitely gonna get beat up by Trump, though. There's no. Yeah. There's
Meatball
an
run.
I
old-fashioned.
think he's ready
The
for Trump. He's
sanctimonious.
ready for Trump. He's ready for
Guys,
It's
there's an
getting
old-fashioned
so
spanking coming his
Oh,
way.
man.
I think it's gonna be at that level.
Like the what is it?
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
rooster guy.
I don't. You know.
With the
By the way, you keep saying that he's doing a few things to try to cater to the MAGA group or
Yeah,
the people
I
that.
think I believe so.
I don't think that group is walking away from Trump, no
No.
matter what.
Yeah.
Trump has used the word revenge a couple of times, and there's a lot of people with a
They're
lot of
out
popcorn waiting to see what's
yeah.
gonna happen if
Foaming
this
at
guy
the
gets
mouth.
reelected. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because there's so many things that like there's the recent report, the Berlin report, right?
Mhm.
That we're gonna get into in a few, because today we wouldn't have enough time to do that.
So
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Like it was like you're talking about like how do we like there's a few things that I'm even concerned to say because I really don't know who's watching. You know, like there's certain videos where you say, I hope we're not gonna have that many people
your
watching.
sister is watching.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. So
So, you know, I look at this bill and I say, and it says bans gender affirming medical care such as puberty blockers and hormone therapy. And I was speaking to somebody's aunt the other day. We were having a dinner.
mhm,
And you know, I can see the pain on this lady. Her niece
mhm.
had recently transitioned, and so you know, if they bring this topic to me, I'll tell them, look, if I grew up in this environment, in the current environment right now, and I didn't have my very clear values and principles, I probably would have been on purity blockers, been a boy already, you know. And so I told her that, and so she opened up a little bit, and you could see the pain on this lady saying, how young do you think is too young? And I said to her, I'm like, look, at what age can you get a tattoo legally? And I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. You know, that it's like, and she's like, I still think that's too young. My niece is 21 years old. And, you know, and I still think that she could have grown out. And she asked me a couple personal questions. I'm not going to share them here. But she says, I think she could have been able to process it a little bit different. Maybe it was her fate, but not necessarily like the way that she went about it, because it was very quick. And that's the biggest concern that people have, is that it's happening very quick. And I told her, you know what, I agree with you. And the fact that you're saying the same thing, it's like, yeah. But the thing about it is that right now, this is happening to children that are 12, 13, 14 years old. So if we have to start drawing a line somewhere, at least at the age that you can get a tattoo.
I don't think that's gonna happen though.
What do you
I don't see it happening
mean?
at all, because
Like, you understand that?
No, I understand.
You wanna like I wanna alter my body,
no,
and like I
understand,
cannot, but you can chop off.
That's not the.
What do you think is going to happen?
What I think. So, for example, how young can you get a kid who has a problem on medication? How young do you put kids on medication?
Yeah.
If a kid has autism or ADHD,
since they're born.
Exactly. So then, if you start believing that something is wrong with this kid and we have to fix it, we're gonna do it as soon as possible. Tomorrow. When the kid was born today, do it tomorrow. Like there's no age limit to how young you can start doing surgery. How young? Because they do it all the time. They do it. So then, if we believe that it's okay at any age, they're gonna try to do it younger and younger. That's what I believe.
Well, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, no, and I don't see it stopping. I don't see it, and it's unfortunate because it's going to require us going through a period of where, like, oh my gosh, what did we do? Look what happened. This was wrong. And then people will, you know.
One of the fastest growing communities out there is a group called the Transitioners. And there are people that actually went in. They transitioned sometimes too young. They didn't necessarily go through the treatment, the psychological treatment that they needed.
Well, nobody challenged their position, opposed to saying, okay, let's process this, right, and really challenge their position to try to understand if there was enough clarity. A lot of people just rolled out the red carpet because this is that, like you're saying, at this moment in time, that's what it looks like. Like what you're supposed to do when somebody comes up to you with that conversation is like, let me show you how. Opposed to saying, wait a minute, are you sure you? Because some of these things are very permanent, you know what I mean, and will affect you no matter. Listen, I don't need to tell you. I don't need to preach to the choir. You went through your own process, just dealing with certain things. A lot of people.
By the way, save the tomboys. Like, I'm a very happy tomboy. Like, for real. It's like whatever happened to them. Like,
yeah, but soon
you're okay.
Soon
like,
you won't even be accepted in this
That's
picture.
true.
No, I'm not. Already,
You're
I'm
already
not.
being questioned as to
way
wait.
too
no,
far off
already
to-
I'm not. Yeah.
What are you holding back? Are you not sure?
You're not represented properly. What's wrong with you?
No, I
Well,
don't think
I mean,
so. Yeah.
it's-
Like, look,
but-
there's an entire it's LGBT, and some people, which is really sad because I do truly believe that there is transgender, transsexual, transgender individuals that like legit they have gender dysphoria, you know, and so, but right now there's a whole group of people that are like just the LGB. That's it.
Correct.
You know,
the reason why we come together, guys, is precisely because we don't see life the same way and we don't agree on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned was to maintain my position while at the same time respecting somebody else's position, right? And one of the things, the reason why this book is sitting here from our group friend, Jordan Peterson, is the following, right? When you see one of the many states, because he talks about the monster in you, right? And when he says, when you're talking about a group of people, right, and we do a lot of group presentations, a lot of group communications, you're hoping that everybody there is good people, right? That you're dealing with a good crowd, that nobody's gonna be crazy enough to pull the gun and start shooting everybody while you're like, you're really hoping that everybody is a good person, reasonable enough. But when you start getting closer, or you're allowing people to get close into your life, you absolutely have to pay attention. You got to look for the monster in that person, and then you have to decide if it's okay for the monster in that person to be close to you and your family, right? And so I think that in one end is part of the process. The second thing, though, for me is there are certain things that my position would be my position. That doesn't mean that I don't have to respect. There's certain things that I'll be honest with you. I would be dishonest to say, no, I understand. I get it. I know exactly how that works. There's certain things that I don't know how they work, but some are very obvious. You know what I mean? Everybody grew up with that one friend that was either a female, that was, like you're saying, an incredible tomboy that was, hardcore, ready to have a fight more than any of the boys, or some of the boys that you were like, if you ever come across and say, I got a little secret, it's not a secret. Like you knew, like going to school. I mean, I can go back to elementary, right? You know what I mean? And so, for me, there still is, again, the cause, the reason. Is there a cause? Is there a natural cause? Is there a cause that is the result of many years of listen, the Department of Agriculture right now is about to introduce certain laws that will make certain things even criminal. Like there's a few things, and again,
Department of Agriculture.
I'm gonna save this one for the next one, because otherwise we're not gonna have time. But when you have John Kerry, you know who John Kerry is, right? And Bill Gates sitting together right now, coming up with what exactly is it that we need to be planting moving forward, and what do we do with all these cows that cannot stop passing gas and is killing the ozone layer. And listen, the conversation gets to a point that is so ridiculous that you literally go, there's no way in hell. The problem is, it is happening. In this, I had a friend of mine that said, there are obvious physical consequences that people will show, but you are no longer able to tell if that is a natural transition or this has been affected or intentionally degraded. Listen, just something as simple as testosterone levels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were measured 30, 40 years ago at a higher level. What was normal then and what is considered normal now, you know what I mean, would be considered
I'm curious,
deficiency.
is that a study in the U.S. or worldwide?
I believe it's worldwide. It's not just the U.S. But so it's not just limited to what we have going on. It's just that in our case, though, it just, like I said, it's like the last 2 years, it just feels like the whole thing just went crazy.
Hey, by the way, so can I say something? Because you mentioned Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
If anybody's curious or you want to dig a little bit more, Jordan Peterson has an interview with Chloe Cole.
Okay.
And this is a young lady that transitioned female to male when she was 15 years old, did the whole double mastectomy, went into stuff. And you can see this little girl, she's in her 20s now. It did transitioning, and he did a psychological profile on her. Have you watched that?
No.
Oh my God!
Really?
You watch it, and you
Text
can
the
like.
info.
She
We're gonna
goes.
put
She
the
says,
link in there. Oh, we're gonna
"How
put
was
the-
I supposed
the
to
link.
know? How was I supposed?" She literally asked that. How was I supposed to know? Nobody asked me that before. And this guy did it in a span of 2 hours. The whole psychological profile. He went through it, and he's like, "It's unfortunate what is happening." So you're right when you're saying yes. Like. Medication, children, and all that stuff is happening right now. But doctors have to be good doctors, and they have to do their due diligence. And many people are just showing them the path and just checking a checklist because that's a client for life.
Correct.
For pharma, for doctors, for surgeries, for the complications that are gonna happen, it's just insane.
Also, I don't want to lose my license because somebody said I didn't want to treat this person, so then now I don't support this. That's what I'm saying.
Pressure.
Yeah.
But
It's
even this law,
Yeah.
even this law, the only thing that it does is, again, it doesn't fix the natural problem. It's just saying in the state of Florida, I can just go across the other state line, you know what I mean,
Which is fine.
and go do whatever I want to do. But again, you know what I mean, I'm okay if you're gonna
Same
do
thing that
something.
they did with abortion.
But listen, I'm the oldest in this room at this point.
By a lot.
You know what I mean?
That's not supposed to be
That
funny.
is not news.
By a few months.
It's like DeSantis coming out as a candidate.
You guys probably don't know this, but I'm
what
the oldest
Oh
guy.
God!
My company's a surprise.
Brand
to
new
you, but-
information.
Jesus.
So what
No
happened?
respect
Wise
whatsoever.
old men.
Oh my God.
But here's what happens though. You know what I mean? There's so many things that I still get wrong today.
That's true.
It's humbling. It's humbling because, my father passed away. I wasn't 13 years old, and I have a very unique history with my father, right? I'm 13 years old when he passed away, and at some point I decided that I was going to start the process of asking myself every night before I went to bed, have I made a mistake today? And I've been doing that since that time. There's not a single night I won't go to
100
bed.
years ago.
I won't go to bed, and I'm asking myself the question, have I made, and some stuff is simple. I mean, like put the wrong pair of socks
Gotcha.
on. I had, the wrong pair of pants the other day. I was like, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah.
And some of this cost me relationships, a lot of money. Some of the things.
Yeah.
And it's humbling to realize that if you really pay attention, it's not a single day that you don't make a mistake. And I'm saying to myself, there's so many things that I'm still don't know, or that I still get wrong, and that is a confirmation that you don't know, right? And here you have so many young people making life-defining choices, and everybody knows that they don't know. And so when are the grown-ups coming into the room to say
Marvin, sometimes it's the grown-ups.
that
Jazz
is the
Jennings
biggest
was 2
issue?
years old whenever they started their transition.
Mhm.
I mean, not
That
to
is-
6.
That
It's
is-
sickening.
that is-
That is
I-
a- that is
I have a
terrible
question. I got a
Yeah.
question. I got a question. And it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, and it's on topic, but it may be a little bit off. It's a simple question, maybe not so simple. If I have a choice to make, right, between doing what I believe in or what my morals say to do, versus making a good business decision, right? Both couldn't look like the right choice. So then, how do I know what's the best choice to make between how I feel versus what's best for my pockets, or what's best for an agenda that I'm trying to push, or what's best for this company?
If your business decision doesn't somewhere somehow align with some set of morals, you're in the wrong business. You're 2 steps away from being a drug dealer, because what difference does it make?
Yeah.
What difference does it make? And so when somebody's saying my livelihood, and you know very well that at that point, and I had people that said, listen, man, I just got to pay my bills.
Yeah.
I got family to provide for. That guy is already saying,
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I already checked out on the whole moral issue side. This is what I'm trying
But
to
there
do.
are levels to that.
But absolutely. But the fact of the matter is that I think that when you're talking about having a life that would be a meaningful life, you know what I mean, and a life that you can look at yourself in the mirror, you know what I mean, when you got to make a choice to say, okay, I need to make some money, but I cannot be like a freaking hurricane that's gonna destroy everything on. You can't do it just leaving body parts along the way, because I don't care how great the business idea is, and there's a lot of people that will question sometimes business people, business ideas,
Yeah.
business models specifically, because they say, listen, yeah, I know that you can make it,
Yeah.
but look how much collateral damage along the way.
So then here's the issue. I could be the person who says, well, I'm thinking this is what's smart for the world, right? So then I believe all kids need to be on, these hormone
Yeah,
blockers.
yeah.
But then you're like, no, but that's not good, because that you're not being a good person there. But then watch this. But if I believe in this, right, and then I don't value money, then now I end up like Budweiser, because I have a goal that everybody needs to do this and do this thing. So forget how much money I lost.
That's an
I
ideology.
need to.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
then now it becomes like, okay, so do I act more like the good doctor,
Yeah, but-
or do I treat it like Budweiser?
But not to
Because
be
you get what I'm saying?
conspiracy
Yeah.
theory happy though. Like some of that is happening right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like just so you know, there are
That's-
people that believe so much in the population,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
They're absolutely saying, okay, so how do we stop
Your friend
people from
Gates.
having
Well,
babies?
putting people on puberty
How about-
blockers is chemically
How,
castrating them.
how do
so-
we
Correct,
stop people from having babies? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
that's
so,
the easiest way.
listen, there's so many
Yeah,
things
that's
that
true.
that you can see this thing
And they
from so
make
many
their own
angles.
choices.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, guys.
Crazy,
Buy their own
crazy.
pills.
Yeah.
So who do you think is running this country today?
Disney. Who you think? Obviously, come on now.
I
It's
saw
the mouse.
something at the Babylon Bee that says the Babylon Bee said President Zelensky announces his run for his second term to U.S. government. So
Yeah,
to be a U.S. president. So.
Yeah, that would be like hey, well, I'm still gonna need a lot more money from you guys, right? And so that was a loaded question, wasn't it? Right? So here are 2 guys that I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna name a few entities that it's unbelievable the ability they have to operate without any consequence. It's like, the whole question of who polices the police, right?
That's true.
We have some people right now with a lot of power in this country
Yeah.
Yep.
to the point that they can destroy the life of people, ignore real criminal activity. When you look at a guy like Jeffrey Epstein, right? And you look at Hunter's Biden right now, like if there was a guy, a former president got subpoenaed because he paid, not got subpoenaed, literally was indicted because he gave, and here you have a guy who allegedly has been selling secrets left and right like they're a hot bread or hot potato to the Chinese, and nobody's doing anything about it. Not only nobody's doing anything about it, and they knew for a long time. That report that I mentioned before, which we're going to tackle in our next conversation, makes it very clear. And so now you have in this election 2 individuals that are emerging that don't have a very good history with DOJ, Department of Justice, with the CIA, with the FBI, and that makes it a very interesting, unique set of potential allies. Like some people can, Donald Trump, former president, it's very clear that he didn't have the most successful relationship and he was not able to clean up the swamp that he was going into. But then Robert Kennedy Jr., though, running as a Democrat right now, he was asked the question, who do you think killed your father? He said the CIA. And
Seriously?
and I don't know if you know this, but it's also, do you know that there is an official report that it was also the CIA who killed Martin Luther King?
Yeah. I believe it. Yeah.
Who's running this country? I'm asking a
Yeah, I believe
question.
it. I believe it. Yeah.
Don't want to be
But
taken
no, I
down.
don't think they're running it though.
I don't
But
wanna
they're helping
Yep.
move it. So there's a difference between I run it versus I help influence it. You get what I'm saying?
What's the difference? If you have the ability, listen. If you have the ability,
You don't have
There's a
complete
master,
if you have the
there's the
ability,
puppet, and then there's the
what do you
master.
mean you don't have control?
No. So watch it.
It's the best of all case
So watch
scenarios.
it. So let's say
I don't
I'm
have to
driving.
be the front
Let's say I'm
person.
driving. Let's say I'm driving, right?
Alright.
So I don't believe these entities are the drivers. I think they're the people who put certain things in the road that influence you to turn right or left. But they're not the drivers. They're not the drivers. And I get it. You might be like, well, but still, if I put the block in the road, did not make you turn.
Who's the driver?
Who's the driver? It changes. The driver changes. I don't think there's.
The agenda. That's
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that. I don't think that the front person is the driver. I think that the front person is the puppet, and I think that whoever is given directions to
Yeah.
that front person, whoever has the capability
Yeah.
to get a president who had the highest ratings of like I don't want to say likability, but at
Yeah.
least favored by everybody in
Yeah.
terms of the economy and just about everything that was going on, border under control, a business friendly environment, energy friendly. If these entities have the capability to say, you know what, we
Put
don't
COVID as a block.
we don't want you to be the next president. We don't want you to be president again,
Yeah.
right? And at least they block the whole situation. Everything that's coming out right now, the country needs to see it. Everything that's coming out right now about everything that took place, from Fauci to DOJ to FBI to CIA to so many things that to be quite honest with you, it's almost unbelievable. But then you look at a situation of a Kennedy, the Kennedy family, as we know, based on the history, you know what I mean? Obviously, his uncle was assassinated,
Murdered.
his father was assassinated, and somebody even asking a question: are you not at risk? Are you not afraid that there's somebody? Because you're an outsider,
Yeah.
and they know that you're gonna come in, and you are going to dismantle some of these
Guns
things.
blazing, yeah.
So, by the way, if something like that will happen, though, like I'm moving to Haiti. Like at that point, you're looking like,
As
what
quickly
the
as
hell is
Guasón.
going on?
Yeah.
At this point, something like this will happen. But guys, we have two interesting similarities with these guys
From opposite parties.
from opposite parties.
Which is funny.
Will that make an unlikely alliance later on, or would that?
No.
You don't see
I
it
don't
happen.
think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think that the person who likes one might like the other one, but I don't think they're gonna like each other. No matter what, you're not allowed to like each other. Maybe later on, but for the next 2 years or so, no.
Right.
We can't. No, we can't.
I'm going to tell you what I would like to see. I'm pretty positive because at some point I was thinking that DeSantis was going to pick up a lot of. As of this moment, you wouldn't know by now. You know what I mean? And providing that Trump doesn't have another.
I think DeSantis
situation,
waited too long.
Well,
yeah.
according to him, it's only him and Biden. That's it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's true.
Those are the options.
to me right now, I think that Trump is taking the primary for the Republicans, right? But if Kennedy is not able to hold on to that primary, and I think he should, because I think that even Democrats, they were just hoping maybe for somebody else to jump in, there will be more to their
What do you
liking,
mean?
right?
How will he hold it
okay.
if Biden won't debate the guy?
So well, but
Like how?
But
Like-
again, I think that it will be the same way that a lot of people will say a no Trump no matter what. You know what I mean? I think that you already have a lot of people that are saying
No, Biden.
anything but Biden. You know what I mean? And so, but if he's not able to run with it, here's
Not
what
all
I'm
the dead people.
here's what I'm hoping for. What I'm hoping for is that he'll decide to run as an independent.
Kennedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, why? That will just take strength away from whoever gets the Republican nomination.
I don't know. I don't think that Kennedy is attracting a larger.
No, but he will definitely
A larger
grab a
group from
bunch of the people that
Republicans.
are independent. Like he'll grab a chunk of the independent and the
Yeah, but he
undecided.
will grab more Democrats, independents, than
Dude,
Republicans too.
What state? Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania elected somebody that had passed away like 2 months before. You know what I mean? Like literally, the dude was still in the ballot, and enough people voted
Correct.
because they had a D right next to him.
Correct.
You know, so it's like we cannot make those claims like that because for me, it's like yes, I understand what you're saying, but a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people are just gonna be like, "There's a D right next to it, check." So it's the independent and the undecided that are gonna be paying attention. And as far as friendliness, a ton of people are saying it would be nice to have another Kennedy in office.
Well, that's what's going to be
I was
my
gonna
point.
say that is a little bit different.
1,000%.
The person who
Yeah.
passed away, what was his name? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Kennedy, everybody knows his
Yeah,
name, so that changes.
That was my point. And
changes
that
the-
was a
Yeah.
Democrat candidate. That was a Democrat former president. That was listen.
it
I
changes.
is if I'm a Democrat, you know what I mean. You just can't ignore that name.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot ignore it.
I'm a
you know what I
registered
mean?
Democrat. So.
There you go.
So come on. This,
Cast my ballot.
you
in the
know,
primary.
this is one of those moments when, you know, what can you do for the country? Anyway, with that being said, guys, it was a phenomenal conversation today. I
Yes.
appreciate it very much. We'll see what other problems Disney is going to have
I know,
moving
right?
forward, right?
We promise you
Together,
to.
but,
We went from COVID to Disney.
I
Like,
know.
Anyway.
it was like- that's funny.
guys, looking forward to seeing you for
Absolutely.
the next video. We
Yep.
appreciate
Like,
you being
comment,
part of this process.
subscribe,
Absolutely.
share.
Pass it around, move it around. We want
Absolutely.
to move this conversation
what team
to.
you're on.
do you
to
wanna?
6
Do you
segment.
wanna? How should we do it? Like, somebody that the first person that comments gets a 12 Rules of Life.
Somebody that will
Create debate.
especially will have a very good comment about the similarities between Trump,
Trump
and
and
Kennedy. Will definitely get a book from Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life.
It's a great book.
And
Do your
it's
research.
definitely a good book to
Yeah.
have. Right.
Let us
So
know.
with that being said, everybody,
There you go.
good to see you.
Peace.
Take it easy.